Tune in and let's take a look at this Marvel Legends exclusive Mojoworld box set. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you're following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. And remember now you can hit that join button and become a channel member as well. Either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. Today we are checking out this Marvel Legends exclusive Mojoworld box set. Now, it's nice to see them having some fun in this plastic-free era, as the box is in the style of an old-school TV, which makes a lot of sense since Mojo is a crazy TV executive from the Mojoverse. And I am excited about this box set, even though Hasbro made it a little bit difficult. Since this was released, a single-packed Mojo and a single-packed Longshot on the retro card have been announced. So I'm sure people have been hesitant to pull the trigger on this box set, but I'm definitely still curious to open it up today. It's a nice accompanying piece to your VHS boxes from the X-Men line as well, even though these particular representations are not from the animated series, so it's a little bit of an amalgamation, but the box is still fun all the same. So there it is on the front. You get the wood paneling on the sides and top. On the back, you can see there's like a card sleeve, which actually tells you what is in the box, which is Longshot, Mojo, Dazzler, and that little baby Wolverine I was talking about. But that is a little card sleeve, so I should be able to take that off. I've not actually done it yet, so bear with me. There we go. Okay, and that reveals the rest of the box, which is a nice sort of comic sort of panel with Mojo on the front with all his TV screens, and then we get a few little write-ups that read: Mojoworld is the pocket dimension ruled by the tyrannical TV impresario Mojo, who set his sights on the X-Men as his next big stars. And then we get another little write-up that reads: with Longshot and the mutant hero Dazzler now in his clutches, the television tyrant scuttles one step closer to his ultimate goal: total ratings domination. So as I said, I like the box art and all of that, but that is not all. Let's get it open. When you open it up, there is a lot of paper and cardboard for Mojo, but you also get these two things, which are a TV remote and a TV guide. But this one's busted. I keep pressing the buttons, but the channel just won't change, so maybe I need to change the batteries. But it's a TV remote. If you spin it around on the back, there's a picture of Dazzler, so I assume Dazzler's in there. And then here we got a TV guide with the same image that's on the front of the box. Spin it around, and then you get a TV guide with Longshot and the little Wolverine. So I assume Longshot and Wolverine are in here, but as you can see, it's like got a TV guide sort of image. So that is that. Let me spin them around. So that's what you get there. And just for a comparison with an X-Men VHS box, here we have Mystique, and as you can see, that is a little bit taller than these two, but they are meant to be an accompanying piece to each other all the same. Just a little bit of fun, people. It's just a little bit of a gimmick. However, I care about the figures, so let's wait no further and let's get all this open. Okay, so it does seem like some assembly is required for Mojo, as this is everything else that is packed in the packaging. So it does seem like Wolverine isn't in that Longshot box after all, but there we have little Wolverine. We'll look at him last. But I am very curious about Mojo. It looks like we've got two Mojos here, but we don't. It's just all the different pieces you need to build him. So there's no instructions. So rather than struggle to do this on camera, I am just going to build him off camera and come back. But yeah, this is everything else you get. It's all packed individually, and you have to build him yourself, but I'm sure we can figure it out. And with a little bit of movie magic, here we have Mojo all built up, and wow, first impressions are so very high here. I don't think pictures or videos online really do this figure justice. In hand, he is a lot bigger and heftier than I expected, and he will make for an epic display piece on the shelf. He's going to take up some real estate, undoubtedly, but it's going to be worth it. The missus is going to hate this ugly bastard, but yeah, I love him already. He comes with two sets of hands and an interchangeable head, so I'll show you all that in a minute, but I just wanted to sort of give you a sort of gist of the size of this guy. So I will dive in, check out the details and all the points of articulation, but let me just move his accessories out of the way and let me just show you what we're working with here. So here's the tape measure. So just standing on the floor with the legs sort of stack out, not even the whole way, but just so they're resting on the floor, you're looking at about just under 9 inches already, just like lengthwise. So let me spin him to his side, and again, this is going to kick out and take up some real estate on the shelf. So from the back there all the way to the front, again, another just under 9 inches again. And then in regards to height, again, you're looking at about 9 inches. So yeah, all the way around here, it's big and hefty, but it's mighty impressive, people. Again, you're not prepared for how big this guy is until you get him in hand and build him up yourself. And yeah, he just looks so cool. I love him already. But let's zoom in and check out all those details. Starting at the head sculpt, check out this ugly mug. This is what I'm worried I will look like if I stop doing exercise. Look at that big sloppy chin just dangling over there with the clockwork orange eyes sort of being pinned back by the mechanics. And yeah, there's some colour in the mechanics as well. You can see the colour of his gums, and there's even a bit of shading here on all the sort of fat rolls, which is disgusting. And there's some darkness around the eyes as well, and the pupils are painted. And yeah, what can I say? They've done a great job here, a great representation of the character from page to plastic. And people concerned, don't you worry, full boobage here. You can see both nipples and everything. It is disgusting, and it even hides the point of articulation as well there, but I'll get into that in a minute. But that's the first head sculpt with the big cheesy grin. But if I throw in a side by side, you can see that you also have an option for the tongue out. So it's a slightly more sinister expression with this sort of janky teeth and the tongue sticking out, which is nicely painted again with all the same details. And yeah, it's great to have options. And I genuinely right now don't know which head I'm going to use for Mojo. Both of them are great. And yeah, really like it. So as you can see, I've swapped the heads as we take a closer look at Mojo here. And first thing first, the belly is made of like a rubbery plastic, so you can actually like prod him like the Marshmallow Man. That is hollow and soft, so it does give him that nice fat look. And there's also liver spots all over him, which is the difference between this and the single release version, which is a lighter tone. This is a little bit more yellow, and it has more details with these liver spots. They're like brown spots. There's also some shading from the sort of ectoskeleton that's there. The belly button's all smushed, and then even up here where the articulation point is, where you do get your tilt, etc. And you can leave him forward, leaning forward and back. You can see him there in his chair, leaning forward and leaning back. So there is a point of articulation at the sort of boobies, and they're all dirty and like got that brown sort of shading underneath. He definitely needs a sort of a sponge bath at this point, but I don't volunteer to do that. The arms do have double jointed elbows, which is great range. There's also a bicep swivel, and the shoulders will go up to just under 90, unfortunately, but it's still got a decent enough range for this fat bastard anyway. The pipes are plugged in from the chair into the shoulders like that, nice and easy, but they don't hinder the articulation at all. And as I said, the wiring's got some colouring in it. There's a bit of wiring over the shoulder, but it's all about the sort of liver spots and the shading on this guy, which is the difference between the single packed version. Some more colour in the sort of wiring on the back, on the belly, and then loads of detail on the back here. Like, look at this. Let me zoom out a second. Lots of wiring, some more mechanical pieces with some colour prodded in there. But yeah, much more detail on this than you initially think when you see it online. On the bottom here, you can see it's got these three translucent sort of bulbs that will help him stand because he doesn't really hold the weight on the legs. The legs are nicely done. Not a lot of paint on the actual mechanical parts. It's just all sort of a gunmetal grey, if you will. But there is, like, these are all on a ball joint, so you can sort of manipulate these how you wish. You can see me spinning it there, but there's a hinge there, so they go up and down. There's another point of articulation there. So 1 point, 2 point, and then there isn't a third. There's just, no, there is. Is there? Let me try. Yes, there is. There is a third point. So there you go. 3 points of articulation on all these legs. You can see, you can bend them there. So you can get it to make him appear like he's standing on his scuttly legs, but it's really the weight is balanced on these bulbs. Again, I have tried to get him to stand on the weight of his legs, but it's a little bit hard to distribute the weight, and he always buckles on himself. The arms at the front are a little bit different. These have the actual pincers on. Again, they have some points of articulation, and these go all the way up to his mouth, so like he can feed himself. So yeah, I like these sort of grabby arms at the front, and then the other legs you can use to scuttle around. But yeah, this is beautifully done, people. I don't want to spend forever on this guy. He's got the stinger up top, which is on a ball joint, and again, it's got the spikes and it's got some colour on here, but it's going to take some real estate on the shelf. Maybe you could like take that off for display and just display him like that, and it's still undoubtedly Mojo, but obviously this sort of stinger adds to the mix. But there is no articulation in this stinger. This is a solid plastic piece, so don't try and bend this. It looks like it should be like a bendy wire. That would have been great, but no, it is stuck in this one position, and then there's a ball joint up here for the gun sort of element, or the laser as he has. But Mojo has like weird abilities. He can like teleport, and then he can shoot people, he can read minds, and he even does a bit of magic, I think. He's a bit weird, Mojo. But he'll do anything for those ratings. But there we go. Mojo, honestly, impressive. One last thing for Mojo, you do get 4 unique hands, so you don't get any pairs. Each of them are a little bit different. This one's like an open palm grab, this one has the pointing finger, and then the other 2, one's more of a gripping hand, and then the other is a little bit more gesturing. So you do have 4 unique hands, 2 different heads to create a lot of options on display. And again, they're all nice. Moving on to the 2 other individual figures in this box set, which is of course an updated version of Dazzler on the brand new double jointed pinless female body, and an updated head sculpt as well, which is nicer. And of course we get a Longshot, which makes a lot of sense to come with Mojo, and this is the first time we've got Longshot in the modern Hasbro era, and again he is on a completely pinless updated Marvel Legends body, which I appreciate. Both of them come with an interchangeable set of hands, and then Longshot comes with a knife and Dazzler comes with some energy effects that we've seen multiple times before. So I'm not mad about it, but I was confused at the omission of Spiral when this was first announced, but now we know they were saving her for the X-Men retro line. So all is good in the end. And if you want a second opportunity to get Longshot, there's also going to be a variant version of Longshot in that retro wave as well, which I'll break down shortly. So let's just start off there, shall we, and take a closer look at Longshot. Starting off with this glorious blonde mullet that only Longshot could get away with, dangling over the forehead, but still clearly see the bright blue eyes and the blank expression. As I start spinning him, you can see the great mullet sculpt. No paint detail in there, but as the lights hit it, it does create some natural shadows to show off the sculpt worked. And overall, I really like it. The difference between this Mojoworld set version and the singled version in the retro card is this one has the blank expression where you can see both eyes. The retro version does have the glowing white eye. Another difference is the Mojoworld has the white star. Mine has a little blemish on there, annoyingly, but the single packed version has the yellow star. The single packed version also has an extra satchel piece that you can put over the chest. This one just has the bandolier with all the throwing stars sort of punched in with chrome there, and that goes all the way around to the back as well with the brown. The brown is on the belt and on the harness where you plug in the knife. You can see I've already put the knife in there. Of course, that's a separate piece that comes with the figure. There it is. And there is a little bit of chrome on the belt buckle, and then the buttons for the pouches, and then down there on the buckle as well for the thigh holster of the knife. So there is a little bit of chrome on the brown. Other than that though, the uniform is all black. You have got the new double jointed pinless elbows, which do have a great range. It's the same body that they plan to use on Robbie Reyes if that ever comes into existence, but the shoulders will go up nicely. Double jointed elbow, as you can see, so no complaints there at all. You've got the collar as well around the neck, but you can still get him burying in the chin. Can't get him looking up much, unfortunately, because the mullet will restrict that. There is an ab crunch that goes forward and back, and there's a swivel at the waist as well, which is decent enough. Moving down to the legs, you've got the thigh cut, you've got the double jointed knees where he can kick his ass all day long. No complaints there at all. And the boots are like a shinier black to the trousers, and they have hid the boot swivel in the sculpt of the uniform, and then if you spin it around, there's a little chrome on there, a little bit, but they are a little bit glossier. You got ankle pivot and rocker, all the same, but overall this is a decent representation of Longshot. I like that they've chose to actually put the throwing knives in sculpted into the wrist, because usually, or the fist, usually we get these with like Moon Knight, and they're loose and then they get lost to the carpet monster. So I actually prefer that they're sculpted in there, looking very nice. The other hand is a fisted hand, so you get 2 fisted hands, one with the throwing knives, but you do get a set of... I lied, you don't get any sets, but you do get 2 other hands. One is an open palm hand, so I assume he is just through his throwing stars or throwing knives there, and you can see he's got the 3 fingers, which is accurate to Mojoworld, so that's a nice little detail. And then the other hand also has 3 fingers, and it's a gripping hand, so he can hold his knife as well. So you do have some posing options for Longshot, and it is nice to finally add him to the collection, so I like it. Moving on to Dazzler, don't want to spend too much time, but it is an updated version of a uniform that we've already got, just without the jacket. So let me bring in that version, and as you can see, this one deals with the sort of jelly leg, sort of pinned female leg situation, unfortunately, but I can sort of still get her to stand. She also has the shorter hair with the bandana, and as I said, she's got the jacket on, but that is the new version. So which one do you prefer? The new one is probably about the same height, to be completely honest, but she's got the double jointed pinless elbows and double jointed pinless knees. So it is definitely an update for sure. She's got the peg hole in the back, which is unnecessary, but maybe you can plug her into a flight stand. But there you go. That is your difference. So let's quickly zoom in on the heads, just so you can see the difference there. The new head definitely uses the 3D digital face printing tech, which I think looks a lot nicer. But the previous one wasn't too bad. I'm just not a big fan of her short hair. But there you go. There's the differences between the head swaps. And can you swap heads? Yes, you can, if you wanted to. So quickly looking at Dazzler, her hair will hinder her looking up, but she can look down, no problems at all. And the hair overall, as I said, is longer and just nicer in my opinion. She's got the half sleeve there with the double jointed elbow. I do think it's just the same as a Shriek body, but as you can see, nice double jointed elbow there. You've got the swivel up here at the diaphragm joint up top with the ball joint, so you get some back motion and not so much forward, but more back than forward, and that's where you get your swivel as well. The shoulders will go up, bicep swivel, all normal stuff. Move to the legs, you've got the slide cut. The leg will go out that far, will go out that far. Double jointed pinless knees, no problem at all. Kick her own ass. Other than the blue uniform, you've got the yellow star, and then you've got the red stripe, another yellow star, and that is your lot. She comes with a set of fisted hands and also a set of open palm hands, a lot more expressive, and I've wasted no time in plugging in her effect pieces as well, which we have seen multiple times before since like 2014. It would have been nice to see something new in an exclusive box set. However, it does sort of display her power set, and if you take the hand off and plug these in at the wrist, they do stay on nice and tight and look so much more dynamic on a display all posed up. So yeah, not mad about it, but it would have been nice to see something different. But overall, it's an updated version of Dazzler for sure. Last and most definitely least, here we have our baby Wolverine, which stands at about 2.5 inches tall, and he has 1 point of articulation. The head is on a ball joint, so you can literally spin the head all the way around, lean it back and forward a little bit, and that is it. He is too top heavy to stand on his own, so he will just fall unless you plug him into the stand like so. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate the gimmick, as in the comics, Mojo does create little baby versions of the X-Men, and I think even the Avengers at some point. However, just having Wolverine on his own is just going to look so out of place, and the style does not fit in with Legends. If we got more than one X-Men character in this style, then maybe they would look fun standing around Mojo's feet, but just having Wolverine is just going to look too random. He looks like something you'd get in a Funko blind box. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I like the concept of baby X-Men if they could do that in a different style, but as it is what it is, it won't be displayed with my Legends personally. And just for a quick size comparison, here we have our baby Wolverine compared to both Longshot and Dazzler. Jumping all the way back to Mojo real quick, just to show you him compared to some other A-list X-Men villains. So here we have the Build-A-Figure Apocalypse, who's a big boy himself, but compared to Mojo, doesn't look that big. And then here we have Magneto, of course, who's just a regular 6-inch legend, but still impressive. And yeah, there we go. 3 A-list X-Men villains. Would you say Mojo's A-list? I would in my brain, but each to their own. But there you go. That's Mojo's scale. He's massive. He's a big, fat bastard. Here we have Mojo compared to some regular legends with Psylocke, Wolverine, Shatterstar, and then Longshot, as obviously we needed to see what Shatterstar and Longshot look like together, both from Mojoworld, of course. And yeah, everything's looking good. I just look forward now to getting Spiral. And last but never least, just to save this video from going super long, here we have the whole Who crew with Frogman, White Rabbit, Tigra, Captain Britain, and Hal, Fire, Hank. So, final thoughts on this Marvel Legends Mojoworld exclusive box set. Honestly, I am super impressed with Mojo. There were a couple of Toy Biz Build-A-Figures that could still hold their own in a current Marvel Legends display, but Hasbro keep knocking them down. They did it last year with MODOK, and they've done it again with Mojo. This is undoubtedly the better figure at the end of the day. He's bigger, he's bulkier, he's more imposing, and it's just so nice. Honestly, it is a great representation from page to plastic of that very quirky, like, TV executive from another world that is Mojo, like the spineless ones. It is such a nice Marvel Legend figure. I just now need to find the real estate to display him on the shelf. And of course, Obviously, the other figures in this set are very nice as well, with Longshot finally needed for the collection, and an updated Dazzler. Did I need it? Probably not, but here she is. I would have preferred Spiral in this set personally, but it is what it is. And then the baby X-Men just seem like they're missing the mark. Like, Wolverine on his own is not enough. They should have included a couple more, maybe a little bit smaller than that, and they could have packed in a few others, maybe, but that's just me. You let me know what you think in the comments below. Are you going for this box set? Or are you going for the single packed version of Mojo and Longshot and just skipping Dazzler and the Wolverine entirely? Because let's be honest, you don't particularly need them. So you have options. Options are never a bad thing. Hopefully this video helped you make your decision, but let me know in the comments below. But either or, you'll be impressed with Mojo no matter what version you get. I promise you that. If you like Marvel Legends, you're in the right place. Check out the videos tab, find the playlist, but most importantly, please, 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 hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, don't miss out on a video, and please hit that join button, become a channel member, either show some love or join the members club. Much appreciated. You can follow me on Instagram at It's Dan Who, and I'm on Twitter as well at Dan Who Reviews. And until then, people, my name is Dan W, and I will of course see you on the next one.